Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at how the Kuat Piston Pro X 3 bike rack fits on my 2014 Toyota Prius V. So the Piston Pro X is an awesome rack. It is a premium rack with those premium features. You've got your Kashima-coated hydro-pneumatic pistons. Just pop up the rack's front and rear wheel mounts just like that. It's very easy to mount and dismount that bike on, and we'll talk about that, but we're gonna focus on the Prius V here today. I personally am a huge fan of how well it fits, and we'll start with one feature, which is the tilt-away feature. When you have multiple bikes like this, but you still need to access your hatch, since you have all that great cargo space, what you can do is you just pull this lever and just let that rack drop down. Now that's gonna be a heavy drop, but I do like to see that it doesn't hit the ground. Even though it's a deep angle, we still have clearance between the bike rack and the ground, but we also have clearance between our door, our pedals, and our handlebars. So now I can get into the hatch, grab whatever I need, whether it's my backpack, my waters, my helmets. I can also hang out here and change my shoes if needed. Now once you got what you needed, close that hatch and lift up on the rack. I do recommend holding it by the center, just getting that stable, and then lifting up. It snaps into place. No need to put any pins back in or anything like that. And when you need to grab your bike, you just hold on to that. 1 to release, and then 2. That can go all the way down if needed. And now you're ready to go on a bike ride. Just like that. If you have multiple bikes on there, you don't have to focus on trying to get them in there, working with a bunch of straps and levers. This just pops back up into ready position and it starts clicking. So this right here, you can hear that ratchet. That's where it starts clicking. So you do have a maximum wheelbase of 53 inches. So for your larger mountain bikes with extra large frames, that can get a little bit tricky, but I still think it's great. You can also adjust this up and down for those different higher sizes too. This does have a maximum weight capacity of 50 pounds per bike since you have the 3 bike version. So if you have an extra heavy electric bikes, this does decrease it from the 2 bike version, but 50 pounds is still not something to sneeze at. Also, don't forget the weight capacity of your actual hitch though, when loading it up with heavier bikes. This does take up a good amount of space behind the Prius V. So measuring from our bumper to the end of the rack, that sits at 38 inches. So if you have a really teeny tiny garage and you need to park into a really tight spot, that's a measurement to help you figure out if you have enough space. Another measurement is going to be ground clearance. So notice how it is higher up off the hitch. We do have a shank rise, meaning the end of the rack to the ground is 22 inches. Compare that to the hitch to the ground, which is 10.5 inches. So when you're lifting your heavy 50-pound bikes, that's how high you have to lift as well to get them onto the rack. And if you're not planning on going out for a ride just yet, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off because it is heavy and bulky, you can just pull that lever again, this time lift up on the rack, snaps into place in the compact or portable position. This is also where you can see how the lights look. So we do have our tail lights lit up. I do need to make sure that wiring looks good there. It is magnetically mounted to the rack, and I do have a 4-way wiring installed on the Prius V. So if you don't have that wiring, check out our fit guide right here at etrailer.com. But from the bumper to the end of the rack, that's 13 inches. Big difference compared to when this was folded down. And one of my favorite parts is, look, it sits just high up enough where it doesn't go over my windshield wiper. So I still have full visibility back off of my rear window. I can still see my taillights, although we also have the taillights light kit. Now what it doesn't, or what it does cover, is my license plate, as well as my backup camera by just a little bit. See this opening right here? Well, the backup camera is offset to the driver's side. So what's going to happen is I don't lose all the visibility. I turn it into reverse, I can still see kind of past the bike rack and see the vehicles and traffic behind me. So all in all, my thoughts about the Kuat Piston Pro X is this is definitely worth taking a look at if you have a 2-inch hitch and wiring on your Prius V. We had all those installed aftermarket onto this Prius V so that we could use this bike rack. So definitely check out the fit guide for that. That way you can maximize that weight capacity as well as that taillight kit. Now, if you want something that looks similar but isn't as heavy, you may want to check out the Rocky Mounts guide rail instead. It doesn't have the hydro-pneumatic pistons, but it has a similar front and rear wheel mount. So other than that, if you like Kuat, I'm a big fan of their brand and how solid and sturdy their bike racks are. This was a look at the Kuat Piston Pro X 3 bike rack on the 2014 Toyota Prius V.